Hey guys, today on Low Carb with Jennifer, we are going to make a delicious keto breakfast casserole. It has spinach and mushrooms and bacon, and you can find the link to the recipe in the description below, or you can go to jenniferbands.com and search for breakfast casserole. Okay, for our breakfast casserole, right now I am finishing up the bacon that I'm going to put on top before we stick it in the oven. And this bacon, I got 4 pieces of bacon and I just cut them into like 1-inch pieces. So I'm just finishing up cooking the rest. Okay, our bacon is finished cooking, so I'm just going to pull it out of the pan onto this plate. And we're going to set this aside to go on top of our breakfast casserole. And I'm going to leave the bacon grease in here so we can cook our sliced mushrooms. We're going to get those softened, and then we can add in our spinach. And these are going to absorb all of that bacon fat and be super delicious. I'm going to season these with a little bit of salt and pepper. Now really for this breakfast casserole, you can use the egg base. It's got a dozen eggs and half and Monterey Jack or cheddar cheese. And you can use that base and you can put any vegetables that you want. You could put steamed broccoli. You could just have it plain with no vegetables. Sometimes I like to keep it simple like that. Or you could even cook some bacon, chop it up, and mix it into the casserole. Then it would be kind of like a quiche, I guess. Put ham in it, and you can put whatever kind of cheese you want. I've put brie in mine before. It's really good like that. Just whatever flavors you like, or any vegetables that you have on hand. It will all work. So our mushrooms are getting nice and cooked. So I'm going to add in all of this spinach, and I know it looks like a ton of spinach, but you all know already it's going to turn into nothing. So we'll let that wilt down just a little bit. Shouldn't take too long. Keep having spinach going overboard. Ah. It's already starting to wilt down. And that big pile of spinach is already wilted down into this little bit. Okay, I set my spinach aside, and now I've got a dozen eggs here, and I'm going to add in some half and half, and some garlic, some minced garlic, some salt, and some pepper. I'm going to whisk these all together. I'm going to make sure that I get all of the eggs combined and whisked really good. Okay, our eggs are whisked good, and now let me get our casserole dish. Okay, Here's our casserole dish. I already sprayed it really good with cooking spray. Let me add the cheese to these eggs. And I'm going to add this spinach and mushrooms into this casserole dish. And then I'm just going to let it sit for a few minutes because I don't want the eggs to start to cook because these are still really hot. Okay, our spinach and mushrooms have cooled down enough so I can add in the eggs. Now I'm just going to use my whisk just to kind of smush it all around and get everything evenly distributed. Okay, and now we can put our bacon on top. And I like to just make it look a little pretty. Isn't that just beautiful? And now this casserole is ready for the oven. Okay, our casserole is out of the oven and look at that, it looks amazing. Perfectly cooked. We did 30 minutes at 375 degrees. And now let me cut a piece just so you can see how delicious it is and cheesy. Oops. Oh, look at that. That looks great. Look at all that spinach. Look at that. That looks great. So excited to dive in. Big pile of spinach right there. So guys, you've got to make this recipe for your, I don't know, brunch or whatever. Show everybody how delicious keto can be. And you can find the link to the recipe in the description below, or you can go to jenniferbands.com and search for breakfast casserole. And I will see you guys later. Bye.